Good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. And we'll wait for a moment or two here and so I can say hello as usual. Kim, good morning. And Nativity and Holly. We appreciate you guys. Terry, Rosalinda, and John, our friend from Elgin, Illinois, and Rosa, Montreal. Diane, good morning. Nick from our staff. Adeline, Rosemary, Zian, our dear friend, and Nellie, good morning. Jeanette, bonjour. And Jordan, how are you, Jordan? And Dale, Mike, you still haven't told me, Mike, where Norland is. I gotta look it up, I guess, eh? Deb from Timmins, another Zian, bonjour. Pierrette, bonjour. Cease, and Jerry from Nouveau Brunswick. Kevin, good morning to you. Thunder Bay, Diane. Marine, and I know where you're from, Marine. Boca Raton, Florida. Good morning. Chandra and Colleen and Caroline, Newfoundland. Have I told you lately how much I love Newfoundland? Mary Ellen, Sherry, Bruno. We appreciate you guys. And Annette and Deb from Timmins. Annette and Marlene. Okay, guys, let's get going. Esther, how are you? Stratfordville, Ontario. Frances Marie, Charlotte, and Catherine. Okay, let's get going. I'm going to continue because of the questions that we got on Friday. Some of them were, well, all of them were good. I just didn't get the time to cover all of them. So I said, you know what, I got to finish this off because it's not being fair to people. Let me go through a couple of them, and we'll pontificate a little bit here, but someone was asking that Dawn actually asked about krill oil. Okay, so you'll see omega-3 in different forms, from krill or, fish, some from plants, okay? And I always tell people, look, I'm more interested, look, all of omega-3 is good. We don't need omega-6. We get a lot of that in our diet. And the ratio of that is, some have said almost 30-1. Because anytime you have these seed oils, these vegetable oils that they cook with and produce food with and preserve food with, you're getting a lot of omega-6. And it's that ratio, when it gets out of wonk, that creates inflammation in your body. It's one way your body creates inflammation. So omega-3, we don't get enough of it. Most people are very low in their levels of their blood levels of omega-3. They don't get enough. They get a lot of omega-6, but not enough omega-3. Now, I found, and this is just my clinical experience, and I think research bears it out too, and that is, there's nothing in oil like DHA. Okay, there's EPA, DHA, ALA, okay? There's CLA that you get from dairy. They're all good. They're good. But the best, because I explain it this way. Your brain is literally, about 20% of it is made up of a fat. DHA fat. Your body is made up of it. And, for years, I have been taking a high DHA for me because I always knew it was good. Research is just overwhelming that DHA is so significant. Not that the other ones are not. And I've told you this in the past, like, don't ditch dairy, switch dairy, because I love CLA. Conjugated linoleic acid. Say that fast 3 times. Your body loves these fats. It's good for you. And it's been, I think I was saying this yesterday, that there isn't a cardiologist that personally, if they personally wouldn't take fish oil. It's almost, without exception, they'd say, yeah, that's good for you. They might not recommend it, but if you ask them about it, I once, I don't know if I told you this. Yeah, I think I did. I must have. I used to teach. There's these courses. If doctors, and they have to do it every year, have to have so many credits, right? So they either go to seminars or they can go online today and get these credits. All professions really are, this continuing education. Well, I worked for a company that put on these seminars so that doctors could come in 1 day or 2 days and get all the credits they needed for the year. And they would do this in Toronto or Montreal for Canadian. I'm sure there was some American physicians too that would come in and, just sit in a lecture hall for, most of the day and get all the credits they needed. Okay, so continuous. And I would bring nutrition. And, I once had this happen. I said, okay, this was a group of cardiologists. I said, put your hand up if you take fish oil. I'm telling you, in that room, there must have been 150, 200 doctors, physicians, cardiologists. I said, put your hand up if you take fish oil. And almost every hand in the room went up. And then I said, how many of you actually either prescribe it or recommend it to your patients? And then just a handful of hands went up. I said, you're a bunch of hypocrites. I called them out. I mean, the research on omega-3 is overwhelming. Overwhelming what it does. And for me, I always took omega-3, high DHA specifically, pharmaceutical grade DHA because of the research. And why did I take that? Well, heart and brain, heart and brain, heart and brain. We talked about that slippery Teflon your blood vessels are made up of. It's your endothelial slippery Teflon. The slipperier it is, the better it is. And what makes it slippery is oil. You can run out of gas in your car. And I've done that. That's stupid. But it's not catastrophic. It's stupid though. Like, my wife reminds me all the time, you're getting low. Go to the gas station. But I'm a man, and men, we don't like taking orders. We like to push it. But you can run out of gas, and that's stupid. But don't run out of oil in your engine. Because that's very serious, isn't it? Well, it's the same thing in your body, guys. Never run out of oil. You want oil in your brain. You want oil around your heart. You want oil in your blood vessels, all 60,000 miles of it. You want them to be slippery. You should be taking enough oil to slide out of rooms. And you know what we're learning about DHA? And I brought this to you, a new study. I actually posted it. It destroys tumors. And I got to be honest with you. I never knew that. Until a few months ago, I didn't know that. I always took omega-3, high DHA oil. It's the Cadillac or the Lamborghini of all oils. And I always took it for my brain. I don't want to ever outlive my brain. I know you don't. I don't want to outlive my brain. I don't want to live till I'm 110 with no brain. I want my brain. Okay? Is it William Shatner that's going on a space trip today, and he's 91 or something like that? Well, good for him. Seems to have all his faculties. Well, good for him. Well, that ought to be our goal, isn't it? You want to preserve your brain, you need oil up there. Krill, I heard it. It was, to me, it was marketing more than anything. Because what I found clinically is the best source is fish and or steak. You got a lot of omega-3 in grass-fed beef. You know that, eh? When cows eat grass, they make oil. Their meat becomes oily. Did you know that? They eat grass to make oil. You don't eat grass. Glorified salad. There's no oil in that. Okay? Unless you put oil on it. Okay? Olive oil and on your salad. But guys, that's, your body needs that. So it's a very, very good question, okay? Now, Anne was asking about fasting and what's the best. Well, let me tell you what I like, first of all, okay? For me, the most beneficial in terms of fasting is fasting without fasting. Okay? Because you can literally eat and fast. People have a hard time understanding that. But if you eat the right foods, your body, because it's so nutrition dense, and I've used this illustration a million times, but I'm going to do it again. Fuel is really, really important, guys. Your choice of fuel is really important. We're gonna do this tomorrow night a little bit when we talk about the mitochondria tomorrow night. Tony Jr. and I, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up, okay, for the webinar tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. And you get senior and junior, okay? But one of the things that we're going to talk about is the mitochondria, your little battery packs within your cells, okay? Mitochondria, it's really important for the mitochondria to give it the right fuel. You want to charge up your batteries within your cells? Give it the right fuel. When you give your cells the right fuel, there's very little debris. It's used up. And I'll give you an example again. 2 examples. 1, a wood stove. Okay? A wood stove. You don't want to heat your house with paper and twigs. Okay? Like, a child knows that. Why, that burns so fast, Doc. Yeah. You want logs on the fire. It'll burn all night. And it's because of the fuel that you chose. You got it? Go to the airport. On the way there, fill up your car. Go to a gas station, you'll see, generally 87, 89, and 91. The odd one, you'll see 93. That is octane measured. Okay? So fill up your car. You can fill it up. I got a truck. I can fill it up with 87. It says so right in the manual. Okay? Unleaded. But then go to the airport and look for the trucks, the fuel trucks that are filling those jets. It's not 87. It's not 88. It's not 89. It's not 91. And it's not 93. It's jet fuel. Jet fuel has a very, very high octane to it. You see, the difference between your car and a jet is the fuel. It's high octane and it burns differently because it's jet fuel. So understand this, and I coming back to fasting, I almost called my book, The Reset, Fasting Without Fasting, because when you burn the best fuel, there's very little debris. There's very little waste of that fuel. It's one of the reasons that people complain to me, and I get it, because they're used to going to the bathroom all the time. And they go to the bathroom all the time because they're used to the teaching that you need fiber to be healthy. Oh, fiber. Dr. Martin, I gotta have my oatmeal in the morning. Otherwise, I don't go to the bathroom. Well, when you go to the bathroom, not that you shouldn't, okay? So don't misquote me. But it's because of the debris from the fuel. And when you are on the reset, you got a lot less debris. So you have a lot less going out in the toilet. It's fasting without fasting. Now, I mentioned this in the book too, okay, that you understand where I'm coming from. I like fasting without fasting because if you start your morning, for example, with bacon and eggs, no toast, sausage and eggs, no toast, okay, what's happening inside your body? You gave your body 99% octane. Your cells will thank you. You need a little bit of insulin, not much. You need a little squirt. If you eat, you need insulin, but you don't need much when you eat the right fuels, guys. And you're not making a lot of debris. And debris is overrated. It's waste. Okay? It's waste. And again, I'm not telling you, you got intestines, large intestine, to move your feces along into the toilet. But you need to understand how your body operates. And then here's what I've always recommended. Okay, so getting back to fasting, I recommend that you don't eat at night, even on the reset. Why do I say that? Because if you don't eat at all, let's say from 6 o'clock till 8 o'clock in the morning, you've gone 14 hours without any food. There's a lot of good things that happen when you're fasting. One of them is called autophagy, whatever it's called. It's your self-cleaning oven. You push the button on your oven and it cleans your oven. You don't have to do it. It does it. You got a self-cleaning body when you're fasting. And to some extent, even when you're eating the right foods, you are self-cleaning. But it's even better at night because when your brain is sleeping, the night shift comes in to clean up the debris in the brain because your brain is headquarters. And headquarters, you got a manufacturing plant up there and it takes 25% of your fuel and you're going to make debris up there and only when you're sleeping are those glial cells come in. And even better, if you allowed yourself, even before you fell asleep, 3 or 4 hours or more of not eating. And one thing too, I'll bring it up at this time because there was a study that came out in the last week. I read it yesterday or whatever. And it was interesting because it said, look, all exercise is good, all of it. Go for a walk, move. And at the Martin Clinic, we really recommend sun, steak, and steel. Like, get strong. Ladies, I'm not telling you to get off the treadmill, but don't just do the treadmill, okay? It's not the best for you. You know what I think of the rebounder. I love it. I love rebounding. It's good for your lymphatics. It's good for you. Good exercise. But there's no substitute for getting strong. Get strong. 15 to 20 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. You don't have to go long. Get strong. Okay? Because that research is showing that helps with everything. Osteoporosis, osteopenia, one of the biggest things it does, it allows your body to become less resistant to insulin. And guess what time is the best? All of it is good, okay? No exception to it. Vitamin E, exercise. All of it is good. They're just showing that as far as your insulin is concerned, insulin resistance, exercising at night is the best. Now, I'm usually a morning guy. But one of the things I try and do is go for a walk after dinner. Move. Because if left to my own devices, I would sit on the couch. Okay? But it shows. So guys, all I'm saying is when it comes to fasting, try not to eat at night, even on the reset. Even on the reset. It helps your digestive tract. It helps your liver to empty out even more. It helps your hormones, ladies. Try not to eat at night. I get it. Sometimes, you're going to have a little snack. You got people over or whatever. I get that. Look, I don't want you to think it's, you can't be healthy and eat at night. But if you're asking me what's best, I'm going to tell you everything is good, but this is the best. Okay? I'm just bringing to you my experience and, okay? Now, Margaret was asking a good question about carbonated drinks, okay? Now, there are different types. Soda, for example. Not club soda, but, Pepsi or Coke or bad stuff. Bad stuff, guys. Okay? And she was asking about in relationship to gout. Absolutely. One of the worst things, and I'm really developing some serious thinking on uric acid, guys. The more I study it, the more I see it as a biomarker for insulin. And I really want to do a teaching on that. I'm really convinced that it's a biomarker that I'm going to put in my top biomarkers to get done. Like CRP, you know how much I love that, right? C-reactive protein. Why do I love it? Because it measures inflammation. Somebody asked me yesterday, well, Doc, my C-reactive protein was pretty low. I can't remember if it was at 1 or 0.06. And I said to her through my staff, well, you have some mild inflammation. What? Because the blood work says, well, that's good. But no, you shouldn't have any inflammation. C-reactive protein, it should be at 0. Okay? Not any, it doesn't, it's a very sensitive marker for inflammation. I love that. But I'm getting to a point now that I really, really, really like uric acid as a marker. You know how much I love triglycerides. What a marker. HDL, cholesterol. What a marker it is. Boy, it tells you a lot. But I'm liking uric acid. And uric acid, by the way, you can have elevated uric acid and not have gout. Because that's all we were taught. If it isn't gout, don't worry about it. But high uric acid is high insulin. It's insulin resistance. And that affects your kidneys. One of the organs that is affected the most by sugar, and especially sugary drinks, especially uric acid. sugary drinks. Because people have asked me for 30 years on doc. I hear, like I got gout. And boy, that's like an epidemic today. And I said, well, you know what? It's mostly high fructose corn syrup. It's the new sugar since the 80s, and gout is up 300%. Is there a correlation? Yes, directly. Because if you listened before, okay, let's say you took one of my textbooks that are over there, and some of them are behind me there, and you look up uric acid, they'll tell you, well, that's purines, okay, organ meat. It's funny, Eskimos don't get gout or Inuit. They don't get high levels of uric acid. But it was, purines. Nah. I never believed that, guys. I never did. Even 50 years ago, I didn't believe that. I always believed it was more sugar. Fructose. And if you got high levels of uric acid, you got to, even with fruits, you got to be careful, very careful. It's one of the reasons of the reset. Why, Doc, would you love fruits? Fruits are so good for you. Yeah, they're God's candies. Don't live on it. We live in a different world. We got a different sugar. It's not half and half. It's 100% fructose. High fructose corn syrup it's so artificial. Your body don't even know what to do with it. You know what it does? It sends it packing. It comes into the digestive tract, this high fructose corn syrup, and your body goes, okay, what did you just consume? I don't know what that is. I am not processing that like other sugars. I am sending it to the penalty box, the liver. It takes a direct route. We've talked about this, and it's kind of interesting, that on the way there, even though your gut won't absorb it, it'll say, no, I'm not taking that in. I don't know what that is. So when you're drinking, remember this, okay? So if you had a Coke in the 1950s, and you had a Pepsi in the 1950s, and you had a Coke in the 1960s and 70s, well, you had a combination, half and half, sugar, fructose. But since then, the food industry, it's 100% fructose, high fructose corn syrup. It's an artificial fructose. Your body doesn't know what it is. It sends it packing on the way past the gut. It does like to destroy your friendly bacteria, by the way. We didn't know that. It's one of the factors in leaky gut, because it gets not at your endothelial cells, but your epithelial cells. Those are the little wee cells that are the barrier between your gut and your blood. And what we know about high fructose corn syrup, it destroys that little layer there. You get leaky gut while it's sending the fructose into your liver to be stored as, you guys should know this, when high fructose corn syrup takes a beeline for your liver, what is it stored as? Fat. You see kids with a sugar belly? That's what it is. It's a high fructose corn syrup belly. That's what they get a high fructose corn syrup belly. You know how they got that? Because the body doesn't want to process it. It's not nutrition. It's nothing that the cells can use. Your body's smart. It sees it as a foreign invader. It's like eating margarine. Your body doesn't know what that is. Margarine? What is that? That's chemicals. So your body goes, I'm not eating that. I can't take that in as nutrition. So it sends it, the high fructose corn syrup gets sent to the liver, and that's why we have. And we're all worried about a virus. Don't worry about the virus for kids. Worry about them getting fatty liver from high fructose corn syrup. They're getting fatty liver, imagine that. Kids. And last week I talked to you about, there was only one thing when I was in school. And that was alcoholic. Fatty liver, cirrhosis of the liver. It wasn't non-alcoholic fatty liver. We didn't even know what that was. What? What's that? Nobody got that in the 70s. Nobody got that in the 60s. Nobody got that in the 50s. If they had trouble with their liver, it was alcohol, my friend. And I'm going to tell you something. High fructose corn syrup, you might as well give your kids alcohol. It's the same thing in the liver. And that's how they develop non-alcoholic fatty liver. Look at their bellies. They got a high fructose corn syrup belly. Look at our bellies. They used to say men, well, you got a beer belly. I remember that, right? No, not anymore. It's a high fructose corn syrup belly. And I'll tell you, you want to send your metabolism, you want to send your liver into trouble, and you know this. When the liver is full of fat, what does it do? It sends that fat into your bloodstream as cholesterol? Nope. Cholesterol? Nope. Triglycerides. Why do you think I want to know what your triglycerides are? I can tell you if you're a high fructose corn syrup addict. And coming back to uric acid, the worst thing you can do is drink the stuff. Even orange juice. Quit drinking it. I don't care if it's Tropicana. Don't drink your fruit. Okay? Okay. I didn't even finish all the questions yet. I get off on sidetracks. Okay, guys. Again, tomorrow night, if you haven't signed up, 7 p.m., you'll enjoy our webinar. We got a question and answer afterwards. Okay, so you'll enjoy that. It's one of the fun things that people like to do afterwards, where Tony Jr. and I stay on and we talk about we answer your questions, okay? But we have some really good material. You're going to enjoy it. That's tomorrow night, October, what is it? Today's the 5th, right? So the 6th, right? I don't have my calendar in front of me. Okay. Friday question and answer. Private Facebook group. Have you joined yet? Your family and friends, get them to join. Love to have them on our private Facebook group. Okay? We love you guys. Talk to you soon.